All right, we are back here for Overreaction Sunday to Alabama's just terrible loss against Oklahoma last night. You went into that game with a very good opportunity to clinch an opportunity to go to the SEC championship if you were to win the Iron Bowl next week against Auburn, because Missouri won their game, but unfortunately you will miss out on the SEC championship game. Be honest with you, I do not see any way that the College Football Playoff Committee puts you in to the college football playoffs with 3 losses here. So we're going to go over some of my overreactions, some of your guys' overreactions from the comments section, and I'll tell you guys whether or not I think it's an overreaction, if I think it's a fair reaction, or if it's absolutely ridiculous. So that's coming up on today's show, but if you guys are as angry as I am about that loss last night to Oklahoma, the 3rd worst team in the SEC, I'll continue to say that. They're an absolutely god-awful team, and they came into this game and they absolutely whipped you up and down the field for 60 straight minutes. If you guys are as angry as I am, like today's video for me right now. All right, first overreaction on today's show. The season is over. I'm going to call it an overreaction because you still have the Iron Bowl next week. And look, the season might be over in terms of going to the SEC championship game or going to the college football playoffs, but you still have the opportunity to beat Auburn. And I do not care how many wins or how many losses they have. I absolutely hate Auburn. My brother grew up an Auburn fan. I grew up an Alabama fan. So I had to hear it my entire life. Early on, you guys remember the thumb thing that they were trying to do? That used to absolutely piss me off. They can take their thumb and they can shove it where the sun don't shine. I absolutely hate the Auburn Tigers. I hate their colors. I hate their fan base. They're always crying and whining. So I'm going to say yes. While you're not going to go to the SEC championship game, while you're probably going to drop out of the college football playoffs, at least you still have the opportunity to go and beat Auburn in the last game of the season. If you're not going to win championships, hey, the next best thing is at least beat Auburn. And I tell you what, man, if we lose to Auburn next week, I am going to be way more mad than I am now. I'm going to be way more mad than I was against Tennessee when we lost that game, because honestly, Tennessee is probably the 3rd team on my list of teams that I hate. So, look, you still have the opportunity to go out there and win the Iron Bowl. It's rivalry week officially, so let's see. Who knows? They beat Texas A&M last night. Texas A&M's a decent team. So we'll see what happens next week against Alabama and Auburn. So let me know at the pinned comment of today's video, what is your confidence level in Alabama beating Auburn next week? Scale it for me 1 to 10 at the pinned comment of today's video. That ad will come here on YouTube. It's totally fine. You can ignore it. Go down there and scale your confidence level in Alabama beating Auburn next week. Overreaction number 2. Should have benched Jalen Milroe. Look, my reaction for this one, too little too late. If you were going to bench Jalen Milroe in that game, probably should have done it at halftime. Definitely should have done it after the pick 6. And look, you can blame a lot of things on that pick 6. Kobe Prentice just absolutely whiffed on a block on that play. But look, it's just predetermined. Jalen Milroe should have seen that guy there, and he threw the ball anyways. And you know what? If he doesn't throw the ball, he's probably going to see that and say, oh, I need to run the ball. Probably get, 2 yards because your offensive line can't block anybody either. Look, it's a lose-lose situation. Jalen Milroe wasn't able to do anything in this game, whether it was running the ball or throwing the ball. This was just another game where this was his worst game of the season. Probably his worst game as an Alabama Crimson Tide starter at that quarterback position. If you're going to throw Ty Simpson in there, you should have done it at halftime, or you should have done it after the pick 6. Jalen Milroe is going to start against Auburn next week, whether anybody likes it or not. And look, you guys can go ahead and look towards next season if you'd like to. Ty Simpson will be your starter next year, and that, I know there's a lot of people out there that have wanted that to be the case all year long, but look, Jalen Milroe was the guy for this team this year. Win or lose, that's just it is what it is. He's going to start next week versus Auburn. I seriously doubt Ty Simpson plays next week versus Auburn, barring a blowout on either side of the ball. I want to give a shout out to our sponsor today, Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action with over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings. Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best way to get action on sports in over 30 different states, including California, Florida, Georgia, and Texas. Prize Picks is the only real money daily fantasy sports platform with an injury insurance policy. So your lineup stays in play even if one of your players gets injured. If your player leaves in the first half and doesn't return, Prize Picks keeps your lineup active. This is our Prize Picks lineup that we put together here at Chat Sports for the Sunday slate of games. Going with the CeeDee Lamb, more than 21 and a half. Longest reception there for him. We'll see. Maybe he can pop off and get one catch of over 21 and a half yards there. Brian Robinson, former Alabama player there, going with basically one score for Brian Robinson there. Going with the demon on that one, so you only get a chance to pick one thing. You only got the more than on that if you want to pick the demon there. And then Jaden Daniels, 38 and a half rushing yards, going with the more than on that one. You could do the power play or you could do the flex play. The difference in those are the power play, you have to get every single one of your picks right to come out on top. The flex play, you can get one wrong and still win your cash. So one of my favorite things about Prize Picks, honestly, there. So you guys can sign up today and get $50 instantly. When you play $5, you do not even have to win to receive the $50 bonus. It is just guaranteed. Download Prize Picks or the Prize Picks app today and use promo code CLNS to get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. That link will be in the comment section and the description of today's video. It's Prize Picks. Run your game. Overreaction number 3, and I took this one from our live chat during the game from our watch party. Fire Kalen DeBoer. Look, guys, this take is just absolutely ridiculous. You can be mad about the loss, the 3 losses, whether that's Vanderbilt, Tennessee, this embarrassing loss versus Oklahoma, but this take is just absolutely ridiculous. And just think about it realistically here. If you fired Kalen DeBoer this season, who are you going to hire to replace him? Who is actually going to want the Alabama job after you fired a guy after his first season and you won at least 8 games? We'll see what happens next week in the Iron Bowl. We'll see what happens in the bowl game. But he won 8 games this year. And look, you cannot like it, but there's a lot of teams out there who would love to win 8 games. Hell, Oklahoma would love to win 8 games. The thing about the firing Kalen DeBoer thing is just like, you're not going to get anybody that wants the job. I think it was, hard enough. All of us, when Nick Saban retired, we talked about forever. Who is going to be the guy to replace Nick Saban? Who is going to want to replace Nick Saban? Who wants to replace the GOAT of college football? Well, you found the guy, and I think you did find the right guy in Kalen DeBoer as well. So going out there, I understand we're pissed off about losing to Oklahoma, and we're pissed off about losing to Vanderbilt. Tennessee, you're mad about losing that one, but look, they're a pretty decent team as well. They're going to make it into the college football playoffs most likely. So, we'll see what happens there, but I think firing Kalen DeBoer is just absolutely a ridiculous take, and it deserves to be part of our Overreaction Sunday because it is absolutely an overreaction. Make sure you guys are subscribed right here to the Alabama Football Report. We will be live for the Iron Bowl. Win or lose, we're here for every single Alabama game. We'll also be live forever or whatever bowl game we go to as well. So hit that sub button for me at youtube.com/@RollTideTV. Overreaction number 4, I'm worried about transfers. And this is not an overreaction at all. You got a guy, really, there's a couple guys that don't play that, yeah, sure, they might hit the transfer portal. That's whatever, here or there, whatever. But guys like Justice Haynes are really, really the ones that make me worried about hitting the transfer portal after the season. Justice Haynes last night had 3 carries for 18 yards. If you guys are any decent at math, that is 6 yards per carry. and you just continued to not give the ball to him. I just do not understand that. I'm trying to look up his overall stats on the season here just on the fly for you guys. Because it's been this way all season long. This coaching staff just refuses to give Justice Haynes the ball, and I do not understand why. Justice Haynes on the season, but I assume these stats right here are actually before last night's game, but like it really matters. 39 carries for the entire season for 410 yards, 5.9 yards per carry, and 6 touchdowns. You didn't even try to throw the ball to him. I just do not get it. You put Richard Young in there on a third down. I just genuinely do not understand the thought process behind that. This is one of the best running backs in the SEC, if not in the country. And when your offensive line plays absolutely terrible, that doesn't help anything either. But you have got to find a way to get these running backs the ball. Whether it's Jalen Milroe, whether it's Justice Haynes, I am very worried about him in particular hitting the transfer portal here in a couple weeks when that transfer portal window opens up. So who do you guys think will hit the transfer portal after this season is over? Let me know down in the comments section of today's show. Overreaction number 5. It's a wasted season. And I'll say it's an overreaction. And this is me taking a little bit of time and cooling off a little bit. I'm saying it's an overreaction because, look, you got a coach that comes in, has the balls to follow Nick Saban, the greatest college football coach of all time, and he comes in and wins 8 games. There is a lot of teams out there that wish they could win 8 games, especially after their coach, leaves in any kind of capacity, whether that's fired, whether that's being retired, anything like that. So, look, it sucks. You're not going to make the SEC championship game. It's going to be Georgia versus the winner of Texas versus Texas A&M. I believe it's Georgia versus Texas or somebody else anyways. I know we're all disappointed about not making it to the SEC championship game. We're all disappointed about probably not making it into the college football season. But look, it's the first year of a new head coach. There's going to be a lot of kinks to get, sorted out. Got to get him some time to get his players in there as well. I understand, Nick Saban recruited at such a high level for such a long time, and the immediate reaction is probably, well, hey, he's got good players. He should be able to at least make it into a 12-team college football playoff with those players that were Nick Saban's. But you got a guy like Elijah Pritchett on the right side at tackle, just getting absolutely blown up every single time. You got Jaden Roberts out there at right guard, bless his heart. He's been struggling all year long with injuries. He looked bad again last night. There was one point where he was just turned around on like a 3rd and 1 or something like that because this guy absolutely blew by him. I think you got to give him some time. I think the fire Kalen DeBoer takes are absolutely ridiculous, but I would not call this a wasted season.